So the first video I uploaded with regards to this got some positive feedback, which makes me feel really good. I definitely wasn't expecting feedback at all. So I'm really glad that somebody was brave enough to reach out and say, hell yeah. However, the feedback that I got did raise some points that I think are, again, important to discuss. One of them being, it costs money for a lot of people to be diagnosed in the first place, whether you have a personality disorder, whether you want to be or you need to be diagnosed as having depression or something else going on in your brain, such as autism, OCD, PTSD, anxiety, antisocial personality. For a lot of people, if you are not lucky enough to live in a country that subsidizes or covers these things, it costs a lot of money. And even if you're lucky enough to live in a place that does subsidize the cost a little bit, it can still cost so much money to be able to get diagnosed. And for me personally, when I was growing up, I knew that there was something wrong with me. I knew that. I had my parents telling me that. I had my friends telling me that. I had teachers and counselors and, doctors, and everybody in my life was telling me that there was something wrong with me. I knew that. I could feel it in my heart. I knew something wasn't right about me. All the other kids could laugh and play, and there I was. I wanted to be left the fuck alone. Like, I knew I wasn't normal. And that in itself is a really big weight to carry. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if you're 7 or if you're 17 or if you're 70. That is a really big weight to have on you, to see everybody else and wonder why you don't fit in. You just, no matter how hard you try, you just don't. It's like that game, what is it called? Not Operation. The game where you have a set amount of time to put all the shapes in their proper homes, and you're trying to put the star shape in the square and it's not fucking fitting. That's what it's like growing up. You don't know why you're not fitting, you just know that you're not. And then all of a sudden time's up, and now you're out of elementary school where you're supposed to have made all of these bonds, all of these friends. You're supposed to have found a shape for yourself to fit into. And now time's up, you're in high school. You don't have a group, you don't have a clique, you don't have friends, and now you're labeled as a loner. So now nobody wants to be your friend. Nobody wants to get to know you. So now you're fucked. I got diagnosed finally in my early 20s as having borderline personality disorder, and that was a huge weight off my shoulders. It felt like for my entire life I had been holding my breath, and I didn't realize it until the psychiatrist looked at me and said, "You have borderline personality disorder." And I asked him, "Well, what is that?" And he said, "Look it up on Wikipedia." Fine, fuck you too, buddy. I'm gonna look it up on Wikipedia myself. And I looked it up and I said, holy shit, that's me. That's me. I have that. I do all of those things. Like, holy, that's me. Like, look, I can relate to something. I'm relating. I'm relatable. That was probably the happiest moment of my life. I wasn't alone anymore. There was an entire group of people out there somewhere that I fit with. That was huge for me. I could start understanding myself. I could start understanding why I don't fit in with everybody else. I could start understanding why I view the world the way I do, why I have the quirks that I have, why I am who I am. And from there, I could start healing. I'm lucky enough that I live in a country that covered that for me. I did not have to pay for that. But for those that can't afford to be diagnosed, they don't get that weight off their shoulders. They don't get to exhale. They live with this anvil over their heads for their lives. If they're lucky, they might stumble across something on the internet that seems to match up with them, and they might find a group through social media that they can relate to, and they might feel like they finally found somebody in the world who they can reach out to. But not everybody is so lucky. That is a huge weight to put on somebody. That is a huge weight to carry. Living with that kind of stress, that can give you a lot of anxiety. That can give you a lot of depression. That can give you a lot of identity issues. Who am I? Why am I like this? Where do I fit in? Where do I belong? What is my purpose? That can give you so many internal issues, internal conflicts. I don't wish that on anybody. And yet there are people out there who are going to live with that forever. Our system is flawed. Our system is too big to change. And it's not going to change. I don't see it changing. And if it does change, it's not going to change on a timeline that is going to be useful to anybody alive today. We can hope better for our children, but we need to help each other out. And I don't mean people like me helping people like me. I mean people need to start learning and start talking and start educating. And people need to start forming a bigger, wider community. Coming together to help. That's what we need. And of course, without a proper diagnosis, you can't be properly medicated. And again, meds are expensive. Even with the partial coverage that I get, it's still expensive. Some medications are completely covered, and that's great. I don't know how that works. I don't know why some of them are completely covered. I don't know why some of them aren't. It is what it is. You got to accept it because you can't fucking change it. But even with the partial covering, there's still, you still have to pay the other part. And that's if you're lucky. Do you notice that a lot of this is coming down to just luck? Luck of where you are born, luck of the location you are currently in. That's not fair. That's not right. That's not how it should be. Socializing, when you have this weight on you, is the hardest fucking thing in the world. It's hard because we are living with this internal battle inside of us. We want to fit in with you. We do. We want to be friends with you. We want to understand your jokes and joke with you. We want to enjoy the same types of humor as you. But we don't. We don't understand it. It's like we're sitting here doing 1 + 1, and you're sitting there doing the Pythagorean theorem, whatever the fuck, and we're sitting here like, yeah, I totally get that. What the fuck did I just say? What? Seriously? Yeah, totally. A squared plus 7 squared equals D squared. We just don't understand. And it's not because we're stupid. It's just we've got so much going on up here. There's no room for anything else. There just isn't. It's like when your computer runs out of space, you have to buy an external hard drive. Well, we don't have an external hard drive. Like, Once we run out of space, we just run out of space. That's it. We're human. Believe it or not, we might come off as robots sometimes. We're human. We just don't have the ability to relate to you guys. We're trying hard. Maybe you guys should try a little bit more to try to understand us, because quite frankly, trying to understand you is fucking exhausting. On top of all the other things that we're dealing with, it is exhausting. You want to know why we spend so much time in bed? Because we're trying to keep up with you. We're trying to do the tasks that you think we should do, that you think we should be able to accomplish without a care in the world, and it is difficult. Taking care of ourselves is also difficult. It takes more energy for us to do things because an internal struggle is always going on inside of us. Always. We are always looking at you because you have told us that we need to be more like you. You have told us that there's nothing wrong with us and that we need to pull our heads out of our asses. That's what we're trying. And it's still not making sense. So while we're sitting here trying to figure things out, we're using up a lot of our energy trying to solve this riddle. And then we have to go to our jobs for 8 hours a day. We're still trying to figure out why the fuck we aren't matching everybody else. And then we get off work. And now we need to go cook dinner. And we're still trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with us. But you know what? Work was really draining. So maybe I'll just have a bowl of cereal. Because that's quick, that's easy. I was on my feet all day. That works for me. And now it's time for a shower. You know what? I'm too fucking tired for a shower. So fuck it. I'm going to bed. And I'm still trying to figure out, well, everybody else showers when they get home from work. Why am I so tired? Whatever. Doesn't even matter. I'm going to bed. But you know what? I can't sleep. Because this is really bothering me. Why am I not fitting in like everybody else? So now I'm going to toss and turn for 8-ish hours. And then the alarm goes off. And I didn't sleep at all because I was tossing and turning. Well, now I feel like shit. So I'm going to call in sick to work because, you know what, I'm not going to be able to do work today. I'm not. Well, now I feel like a piece of shit because I'm calling in sick to work. So now I feel like a piece of shit. And now I super feel like a piece of shit because everybody else goes to work even if they're tired. But I super feel like shit because there's something wrong with me. Because I can't act like everybody else. Why am I not like everybody else? Do you see how this little cycle just keeps going? We are not you. We're not. We're just not. That's all it is. Some people are tall, some people are short. Some people are thin, some people are fat. Surprise, some people are fat. Some people are thin. It's a part of life. Some people enjoy wearing high heels. Some people don't. Some people play sports. Some people don't. Some people are depressed. Some people aren't. I mean, honestly, it all just comes down to how the fuck you were born. Let's see. Taking it one day at a time and trying to get back on track. This is something we do a lot. I mean, this is basically our lives. After every depressed episode, and I mean like a rock bottom episode, doesn't matter how often they happen, doesn't matter how regular they are, I feel like we always try to get back on track. Personally, I have gone off the deep end more times than I care to admit. However, because we are talking raw and educating, I have gone off the deep end I'm going to say at least 10 times in the past, how old am I now? 25? In the past 5 years. I'm going to say at least 10 times. Minimum. And after each one, I always try to get back on the track, right? Back on the right track. I always try to reset. I always want to reset. I always get over my deep end. And I always want to be a better person afterwards. And I want it with all my heart. And I always have, such big plans for it. And it never works out. I mean, it just doesn't. Because if it did, then I would only have gone off the deep end once in the past 5 years. But we keep trying. And that's what people don't understand is, yes, we keep going off the deep end. Yes, we keep getting depressed. Yes, that's how it fucking works. But we keep picking ourselves back up. We keep trying. This is how our lives go. We're not like you. We can't have a meltdown over whatever crazy fucking situation and then just be over it and never have it again. This is how our lives go. We do not get to control depression. We do not get to control what we get mad about or what makes us upset. We don't get to control which moments our breakdowns happen. We don't get to control any of it. It just happens to us. It's like the fucking weather. We don't get to control when it's going to be sunny or when it's going to rain. We just get to control. We don't get to control anything. It's either going to rain tomorrow or it's not. That's how it's going to go. There's nothing else anybody can do about it. That's it. You guys can accept the weather, even when the weatherman is wrong. But you can't accept us. It's not different. We're either going to be depressed tomorrow or we're not. I can't tell you which one is going to be true. I can't. I can tell you right now, I'm feeling okay. I can tell you right now, if you wanted to hang out with me, that'd be cool. I can't make you plans for tomorrow. I don't know how I'll feel tomorrow. That's the best I can do for you. As far as spirituality goes, if that is what works for you and that is what helps you, I 100% support it. You go for it. Whether it's church, religion, meditation, yoga. I'm personally not religious, so I don't actually know what kind of spiritual things are out there. But whatever the hell you have found in your life, if that is working for you, 100% I support your decision. What I don't support, I know a very devout Christian woman, and she told me one day she feels guilty. She feels like her faith isn't strong enough because all of her friends, herself included, keep praying that her mania will go away, and it hasn't. So clearly she must not believe enough in God. That is shit. That is complete shit. This is another thing that people need to understand. It is lovely that you want to feel like you're helping us with your prayers and your good vibes. And I said it in my first video, and I'm going to bring it up again, and I'm just going to keep bringing it up until people stop praying for us, because it doesn't help. To put it in context, I want you to picture something for me right now. I want you to sit back and imagine a scenario. You are at the beach. You are at the beach with your family. It's a lovely day. Your daughter has made you into a sand mermaid, so you are buried up to your neck in sand, and she has made you into a beautiful mermaid creature with, you know, the scales and the clam bra and the whole works. She's having a great time. Your wife has gone to the restroom with her mother, so she's off somewhere doing whatever. Your son is in the middle of the lake drowning. Now, I am sitting next to you, and I point out, hey, isn't that your kid? And you go, oh shit, that's my son. My son is drowning. And I look over to you and I say, I'll pray for him. Would you rather I start praying that God will save him? Or would you rather I get off my ass and go fetch your kid? It's the exact same thing. I would much rather you get off your ass and have a conversation with somebody dealing with a struggle in their life than you sit there in your cozy, comfy little throne and you pray for me. There is a huge difference between wanting to help and wanting to look like you're helping. If you want to help, get off your ass. If you want it to look like you're helping, go fuck yourself. We do not need any more fake people in our lives. We do not need any more fake empathy. We don't need you in our lives if that is what you want to give us. We deal with enough shit internally. You're not helping. Go pretend to give a shit about a different group of people if that is what you want to do with your life. Another thing that I wanted to bring up real quick. Somebody once mentioned that their depression might be getting worse due to not venting. That is freaking huge. In my house, we do what is called talk therapy, which means for me, as thoughts are coming into my head, I verbalize them. Doesn't matter what they are. Whether it's anger, whether it's an idea, whether it's something that happened at during my day that I wasn't quite sure about, I verbalize it, and eventually my words form a coherent sentence, and then from there I can form a proper sentence. Venting is so important, whether you do it to your cat, whether you do it to your friend, whether you do it to yourself in the fucking mirror. Venting is so important. It is detrimental to keep it bottled up. The most useful way that somebody can help, if you don't know how to help somebody struggling with depression, PTSD, anxiety, the easiest way that you can help is honestly just be an ear, be a soundboard, be the face that we can vent at. That helps us so much. Just to get this shit off of our chests, just to put it out in the universe, makes us feel 10 times lighter. Like there's this weight that we've been carrying and we finally just fucking chucked it out there. That feels great. Yeah. Helping us, like proactively helping us, is really easy. Sit your ass down, be a fucking face for me to yell at. It will make me feel better. You will learn something about me. If you have questions, ask. We're not crazy. We're not gonna chop you up into a million pieces and feed you to pigs. Like, we're not nuts. Most of us aren't nuts. We used to have a better sense of community. You know, it used to be, if you saw a child acting out in a grocery store, it was completely acceptable for somebody in the nearby vicinity to tell said child to knock it off. And now everybody is so afraid to interact with everybody else. It's time to start interacting again. Like it or not, we're still a community. It's time to start fucking acting like it. You want the news to appear better. You want happier news stories. You want a happier looking timeline. You want a happier news feed. Get off your asses, stop bitching, and go make it happier. You can do that. It is very possible. Anyways, as always, comments are welcome. Subscribe, share, and if there's anything that you want me to discuss in my next video, I am more than open to suggestion.